All right. In order to add a new spline, you click on Add Node, and then in the splines category, you choose spline. That's the basic data structure. It contains all the points for the curve. So you click here, it appears in the scene, and then in the details panel, you see the Edit Spline button. When you click on it, the Spline Editor opens, and you're greeted with the default spline, which is a simple line with 2 points. And you can click on any point and you can move them around. Same here. And then, in addition to like these endpoints, you also see like the smaller red points if you have like any point selected. And those are the control points of the curve. So you can also click on those and move them around to control the curvature of the line. And same with this one. When I have like an endpoint selected, like here, in addition to moving, I can also rotate it, like so, or scale it out, like so. Moving typically works in workspace, like this, but you can also align the axis to the curvature of the line, which makes it sometimes easier to like find and position these points. And I can do this by clicking here on move and switch it from global to local. And local means aligned with the tangent of the curve. Okay. So how do we add new points to the line? You see this little plus icon in the middle. When I click on it, what happens is I add a new point on the line at this location. So basically it splits the line in two. So I can click on it, and then I get a new point, and I can move it around. These plus icons, they disappear when I have a point selected, but when I deselect a point by tapping away from the line, then I can add more points. You also notice that you only ever see like one of these plus icons, and they move around with the camera. So they always appear where you're looking at right now. So I can split here, or I can split here, or here, or here. In addition to splitting a line segment, you can also add more points at either end by what we call painting. So this point, for example, is an endpoint, and then you see like this little paintbrush icon. And when you click on it, you notice the green frame around the window. So now you're like in paint mode, which means like every tap you do adds a new point, like this. I can also long tap and immediately control the curvature at the new point. When you add new points, you raycast against the ground and against geometry. So it's very easy to align your spline to the scene, and you also align you also like cast against the working plane. It works the same as the HypeHype editor, and you can play around a little bit with it and get comfortable with it. Once you're done, you exit the paint mode by clicking on the little white triangle in the upper left-hand corner. Okay. Deletion. I can delete a point by selecting it and then hit clear. And it always deletes the currently selected point. If I tap away from the spline again and I have no point selected, then clear will remove all points and basically remove the spline. We don't want the user to end up with an empty spline. So immediately when you clear the entire spline, you pop into paint mode, and then you can create a new spline. If you clear the entire spline and exit the paint mode without creating any points, then we will create like a default spline for you in your view. Okay, one more thing about adding points. If I paint here and I click on the endpoint again, what you notice is that these last points are kind of like joined together, which is what we call like a looping spline. Yeah, so it's like now like a closed curve. You can also like split it again by looking at like where you want to like cut the spline open, and then you click on the little X and remove the segment. You also notice this button is called loop because it's basically like our loop tool. Instead of like painting from one end to the other, you can also like just click the loop button and it closes the spline for you. And you can also make it an open spline again by using the same button and cut it open anywhere. Okay. Then we have different forms of automatic handlers. These are like these three types on the left. The default is the wide smoothing, which you've been looking at this entire time. You can also make like a straight segment line of it, or like narrow smoothing. And the difference between wide and narrow is like not always significant, but if you move a point like very far away, for example, then you see a difference. And you can choose depending on your circumstances if you want to have like a smoother turn, or if you want to like stay closer to your control points, if you want to have like a character running around without intersecting with geometry or something like this. Also, like most of the time or wherever possible, we try to extend the line in the fashion that you chose. So now you can just paint a polyline. Yeah, that's all about like almost everything about creating and manipulating the spline.